Hello and welcome to another video. Today I'm going to talk about issue 208 of the Knitter magazine. I have a design in this issue which I'm very excited about, so I'm going to show you that. I'm going to show you a clip I filmed before I sent the sample off, and then I'm going to come back and show you the photographs that were in the magazine and just a few other things that are in this issue because it's a beautiful issue. And this design is something I'm quite excited about. It's something quite different from what I have done for the Knitter in the past. I don't think I've ever done anything quite like this for the Knitter. It's a small accessory, so I hope you enjoy it. If you're new here, my name is Anniken. I design knitting patterns. I teach knitting workshops online and in person, and I sell yarn through my website YarnAddict.co.uk. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. Okay, so let's look at the cover. That's a really interesting design, isn't it? It's kind of cables, colorwork cables. Very interesting. So issue 208 of the Knitter. So let's take a look at what this design looks like before we take a look at the photographs from the magazine. So I'll take you back to a few months ago when I'd finished knitting this sample, and I filmed a little bit, talked about it before I sent it off. So I'll show you that now, and then I'll come back and show you photographs of the finished sample from the magazine and a bit else of what's in this issue. So this is the bag knitted in Stylecraft Recreate. I'll talk more about the yarn later. So it has these little grab handles on the top here. It's just basically like a slit, so you can just put your hands through there. My hands are quite big, but they still fit through. So the way this bag is knitted is you make the base first. So you knit the base back and forth. Then you pick up stitches around the base, and then you knit the body in the round. And the body is stranded colorwork. It's a combination of stocking stitch and garter stitch. So the grey stitches are in stocking stitch and the purple is all in garter stitch, and the pattern goes all the way around, so it gives you this kind of window design. I think it would look really good if you did the grey colour. Would also look really good if you did in like a slightly variegated colour. It would give you a very different effect, but I think that would look really good with like a contrasting solid for the garter stitch section. And it is garter stitch at the top, and that's how you make it. Inside it is stuffed lots of yarn in it just to give it a bit of body. So let me take all this yarn out. I'll show you in a minute how much yarn I managed to stuff inside it. So I went for like a lavender lining. If you watched my videos before, you may have seen my clutch bag. I designed these clutch bags last year, and I lined them in felt because it is just so much easier to sew with if you're not great at sewing. Whether you're hand sewing or machine sewing, felt is a lot easier because it's not so slippery. It's also a bit thicker than, well, quite a bit thicker than cotton, so it means you don't have to worry about interfacing, and it gives you a bit of structure. So the bag doesn't quite sit up on its own, but it is not like super floppy. If you choose to use cotton, then of course you can do, but you need to probably add some interfacing, because just like a normal thin, like the kind of cotton you'd need for like quilts and things, probably won't give you much. Well, I know it won't give you much structure. So if I was going to line in cotton, I would get like a slightly thicker interfacing, either an interfacing that's a bit stiff or a bit foamy or something like that. I'm not a seamstress, sewing person, whatever you want to call, whatever we call it these days. I can use my sewing machine, but I can only do very, very, very basic stuff, and I'm not an expert in interfacing. So, but I would say you'd need an interfacing that will add a bit of structure and stiffness to your cotton fabric, which is why I decided to go for felt, because it's just so much easier to do. So to sew the lining together, you just cut out 2 pieces for the front and back, 2 pieces for the sides and a piece for the base, and then you just stitch those together. And with felt, because the fabric doesn't like unravel and fray around the edges, so you don't have to like fold your fabric over twice and all that kind of stuff. You just lay the 2 pieces together, sew around the side. So whether you're doing by hand or by machine is relatively quick and easy. And because it's not slippery, it makes it a lot easier, and I quite like sewing with felt. So I made the lining goes all the way up to here. I stuffed it inside the bag, and then I folded this top edge over. I made sure the openings for the handles were lined up, and then I drew a line on the fabric, cut a slit, being very careful not to cut my knitting, and then I stitched around the handles so that you can't see the fabric at all. And I think that's relatively easy. If you are good at sewing, you might find an easier, more straightforward way of doing it. I don't know, but to me that made the most sense. So let's see how many skeins of yarn you can fit in here. So you don't have to just use this as a project bag. You can use it as a handbag or to carry your stuff, lunch, for work, or whatever you carry with you. You could, if you wanted to close it, to add a magnetic snap below the handles. I would add them to the fabric before you stitch it into the bag. I had planned to do that, and I have some magnetic snaps somewhere, but I couldn't find them, so I left it out. But I have put 500 grams skeins of DK yarn in here. These are all the skeins from my Spectrum Fibre Yarn Club that I've been doing this year, and that fits easily in here. So you could easily, if you want to use this as like a project bag, you can easily fit like a small sweater project in here. You could probably fit most of the sweater depending on how thick the yarn is, but I reckon even for a sweater in my size, if I was knitting in 4-ply yarn, I could fit it in here. In DK, I might struggle, but if you're knitting a sweater in pieces where you're doing the body and the sleeves separately, you wouldn't have a problem. You can probably fit a fairly large shawl in here and various other bits and pieces, so I do quite like it. And if you're really good at sewing, when you make the lining, you could put pockets and things in. Obviously you need to get more fabric for that, but I didn't do that because I like to keep things simple. But if and I was working to a deadline, so I had to hurry up and get it finished. But if you're good at sewing, you could easily put some pockets and things, slip pockets and things in there quite easily. I don't normally get to choose the colours for what I design for magazines, and I was really happy when this yarn arrived because I love these colours, purple and light grey. So the yarn I used is from Stylecraft. I've lost the label, so I just need to refer to my pattern to remember what the yarn is. So the yarn is Stylecraft Recreate, and it is 40% wool, 30% acrylic and 30% polyester. And I think it said in the label that it's all recycled, but I can't remember. I had a 100-gram ball of each colour. I used nearly all the purple and not an awful lot of the grey. So if you wanted to make the bag taller or something, you can do, but you would need more purple. You can also, if you're worried about running out of yarn, when you get to the top and you turn to do this inside bit, you could just do that in grey because that's less visible if you like. So or you could reverse the colouring here, so to use less yarn if you did the purple stripes in grey, because you do basically do 4 purple, 2 grey. You could reverse that and then you would use less purple and more of the grey. But I'm a bit of a yarn snob, I must admit, and I really like this yarn. This yarn is so lovely and soft. It's a little bit tweedy, so you can see it has a bit of speckles in it. And this one, the speckles are a bit less visible, but you can still see them there. And it's so soft. It is really lovely to knit with. It has beautiful stitch definition, and I really like this colour. Whenever I try yarns that I consider more budget-friendly yarns, never 100% sure whether I'm going to like them or not, because I do have slightly expensive taste in yarn, and I do admit I am a bit of a yarn snob. But I am realising that there are some really affordable yarns that are also really nice to knit with. And these yarns are lovely, and I would really happily use this yarn again. I don't say that just because they've sent me the yarn for the design. I sometimes get sent yarns for designs I don't particularly enjoy knitting with and wouldn't choose to knit it again if I had a choice. But this, I can honestly say, I would more than happily knit with this yarn again. It is really soft and really lovely to knit with. I love the colours. and it comes in quite a good selection of colours, so I'm sure you'll find a colour combination that you really, really like. This is my design. I love how they've photographed it in all kind of grey white background, so the colours really stand out. I apologise for my nails. I need to do them, but I haven't had time. I'm getting ready to go to Norway on Sunday, and I'm teaching on Saturday, and I've been really busy today, and I'm quite busy tomorrow, and I didn't want to do my nails till tomorrow so that they'd be okay for my workshop on Saturday and my travel on Sunday and Monday, but it means they're starting to look a bit worse for wear, and they have chipped a little bit, so I apologise for that. But that is what the Clifton bag looks like. I think the photographs look really good with it on the light background. That's the diagram sort of for cutting out the linings. It doesn't matter if you see that. And that photograph as well. Let's have a look at what else is in this magazine. So first thing I'm going to show you is the page where they show what's going to be in the next issue, because I'm really excited about that, because there is something on that page that's designed by me. Can you guess which one? So that beautiful blue shawl is a brioche design. It is a two-color design, but it's very subtle. It's worked in syncopated brioche, which means that the colors are flipped at certain intervals throughout the shawl. This is actually the first shaped brioche shawl I have designed. So it's an asymmetrical shawl, and it's the first time I've designed a brioche shawl that's not a rectangle. So I'm quite excited about that, but I'll do another video about that next month when this issue comes out. So that's the next issue, which should be out on 28th of November. Let's take a look and see what's in here. So there's a tutorial on intarsia. There's this one, which is quite good fun. Bright, colourful jumper. Very spring-like, I would say. Then that's my design. And then there is this beautiful cardigan by King Cole. There's this little fluffy sheep, which is very cute. Whenever I see a Farewell design the knitter now, I'm assuming it's Mary Henderson, and she has not disappointed. She's here with another fabulous design, this time with plain sleeves, so that's really pretty. There are some accessories in this issue, a hat and gloves. There's a very relaxing sweater. I'm not going to show you all the photographs. I'm not going to show you everything that's in here. There's an interview, or there's a feature, yarn stories feature about a new yarn from West Yorkshire Spinners called Fable. I've not seen it in person yet, but I've seen the adverts for it, and it looks quite nice. And there is a design colour block Farewell pattern by Chloe Elizabeth Birch, which looks really nice. And then there's this design, which I just love, the one on the cover, which is a pull-out feature thing, and that is by Marina Skua. It's a yarn review. There's a hot water bottle. There is the shawl, which is I think it's a knit along, knit along part 2 by Kath Andrews. Beautiful sort of Shetland style shawl. And then there are some like news pages and stuff like that. And here are all the designs in this issue. I do like that they do that. And when I was flicking through the news pages the other day, yesterday, when this arrived, I spotted something which made me very excited. So let me see if I can find it again. Recognize that? That is me. So they've done a little write-up about my Italian knitting retreat, April next year, so that's an excuse to give it a little bit of a plug here as well. I'm hosting a knitting retreat in Italy in April next year, 7 days, in a beautiful restored palazzo at the foot of an ancient hilltop village in the beautiful region of Le Marche, or Le Marche, I'm not sure how you pronounce it. So there will be lots of activities, excursions, knitting, workshops. You will get a goodie bag with an exclusive project and yarn and some other goodies, which I'm working on at the moment. But I'm very excited, and thank you very much to the knitter for giving it a bit of a plug in the magazine. I really appreciate it. So that is issue 208 of the Knitter magazine. It's a beautiful issue. It's got the West Yorkshire Spinners Christmas ad on the back. Beautiful issue, loads of beautiful designs, some interesting articles. I have it as a digital version on my tablet, so I'm going to make sure I got that downloaded so I can read it when I'm traveling on Sunday and Monday, which will be the Sunday and Monday before you see this, because this will be out on Tuesday. So when you see this, I'll already be in Norway, but I've got 2 days of traveling. First day I'm traveling up to Wales, and the second day we're traveling up to London and then flying to Norway. So I've got this saved on my tablet, so I can read it without taking the print copy with me, which makes it a lot easier. So this is in the shops in the UK now. If you can't get to the shops or you can't find a print copy, it's also available as a digital copy. Just Google the knitter. If you're in the US and you have an American library subscription, you can get a digital version through the Libby app as well. So do go and check it out in the shops now. If you have any questions about this video, please leave it below. If you have any comments, leave them below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. Thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it. And I will see you next time.